I'm Chesley Knowles, Chair of the Partners in Prevention Steering Committee. The November 11th meeting of Partners in Prevention Steering Committee is now called to order. Today's meeting is being conducted via teleconference. We'll begin with a roll call to confirm the members of the Partners in Prevention Steering Committee are present and able to participate. Members, when I call your name, will you please respond in the affirmative if you are present? Shalonda Adams.
Shalonda is on the call, on the conference call, but I do not see any audio set up at the moment.
Okay. Lois Collins. Carol Greenwald. Clint Holmes.
I'm here.
Nicole Janner.
I'm here.
Okay. We will now have a roll call of Partners in Prevention staff. Partners in Prevention Manager Holly Fuller.
I'm here.
Director of Mentoring and Longview Bridges Out of Poverty, Lyndell McAllister.
Here.
Program and Outreach Coordinator Taylor Thornton.
Present.
Mentoring Coordinator and Coalition for Drug-Free Youth Liaison Whitney Pierce. Grant Technician Patty Eason.
Here.
Administrative Assistant Jordan Forbes. Mentoring Program Coordinator Bonnie Hull. Mentoring Coordinator Marcellus Dudley.
Here.
Mentoring Coordinator Adora Hall.
Here.
Mentoring Recruiter Kendra Tennyson.
Here.
Now we'll move into the review of the September 9th, 2020 Partners in Prevention Minutes and Expenditure Report.
Hey, before you move into the minutes, Carol Greenwald is is here, but her microphone is self-muted.
Okay. Alrighty. The minutes and the expenditure report were sent out in an email earlier. If we want to take a moment to review those, review the minutes.
While you're doing that, this is Carol Greenwald, and I've figured out how to unmute myself. So I'm a he, and so, yeah, I'm here.
I'm sorry about that.
That's quite all right. You're not the first, nor will you be the last.
Thanks, Carol. Okay, any questions in regards to the September 9th minutes and/or expenditure report? Okay, do we have a motion to approve both? I think we can approve them together. Is that correct, Holly?
That's fine, yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the September 9th, 2020 minutes and the expenditure report?
Motion to approve.
Okay, that's Carol.
Correct.
And is there a second? I'll second. This is Chesley Knowles, if I'm able to.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor of approving both items, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion has passed and approved. We'll move into staff reports. Holly, do you have, okay, we're going to go with Coalition for Drug-Free Youth first.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Whitney Pierce, and I'm just going to give a brief update as far as what has been happening with the coalition. You will notice on this first slide that we have gotten our new logo approved, and it's officially up and going. We think it's pretty amazing, so you can just kind of look for yourself, but we had just some requests to make it more youthy looking and more attractive. And so this is kind of what we came up with, or our creator did. You'll notice the D and the F in the logo stand out. That stands for drug free. But we just think it looks really crisp and sharp, and we are excited, and our members are excited to go forth with this. So if you can go to the next slide. So here is our smaller new logo. We were thinking, Scott, if you could go ahead and click, that these would look really cute on a Yeti cup. A lot of kids and adults, are into putting logos and stickers on Yeti cups. So we just thought this would look really sharp on one. So just some really good reasons for us to get a new logo and just to make it more youthy. So that is our new logo. And then on the next slide, so Red Ribbon Week was last month. This is Pine Tree High School. We were asked to come and judge the doors that the students and teachers created this year. Red Ribbon Week was very successful. A lot of things went on in our school district. Spring Hill had a lot of efforts that went on, as well as Longview. So we were very proud to see that our schools are still doing these things and still doing the prevention efforts. Just telling Holly, sometimes we think doors are silly to decorate and that's kind of more of a kiddish thing, but just the awareness that really spreads. The students were proud to show us, and they were even creating some of them when we were up there judging them. So a proud effort, and I'm really excited that our schools are still doing this. And then next, so Substance Abuse Prevention Month. You'll notice this is a social media post that came from our Longview Police Department. Such a great effort that they are boosting. You'll see that is a really long post that gives a very descriptive detail about Box is for, what it's doing in our community. So the poundage is there for October. 110 pounds of prescription drugs were destroyed in October last month alone. So that is a really great effort that is still up and coming. Each month we have well over 50 plus pounds that get destroyed. So our prevention efforts are still happening, and we are very proud of our community for getting rid of those off the streets. And then next, so with us, I was talking to our committee members last month at our meeting, and I'm like, okay, so what are we doing in the community right now prevention-wise? Because we know the show must go on with drug prevention efforts, even though we're not able to be everywhere due to COVID. So just to let y'all know a little insight, we still do have 20 plus people attending coalition meetings. We had about 4 students on that last month, and 2 were junior high, and we had 2 high school from Pine Tree. So with the next bullet, we do have a new partnership that is in the works with our Spring Hill Junior High students. I'll show on, I think it's the next 2 slides in a second, kind of what we're doing. Oh, if you'll go back, I'm sorry, with that. But really great effort, and they are so excited. It's really neat to see junior high kids up and coming with prevention and just being excited about that. So we have created an expansion of resources. We had a few callers coming from Community Health Corps last month on our call. One that was brand new, and another coalition PrevNet that is up and coming in our community. And we had them speak a little bit about what they're doing and just some ways that we can partner with them and work together to really further efforts in Longview. We also have virtual presentations going on during the free periods that our kids have in school right now. Those are going to really include, Scott, if you'll go to the next slide, that's going to include Jeopardy. So if you'll see on the top, we have topics that are regarding drug abuse, smoking, saying no, just those consequences and everything that goes along with drug prevention. That is in the works. We have one presentation at Pine Tree High School next Tuesday that we're going to be playing Jeopardy with virtually, and then as well with our Spring Hill Junior High students soon. So the last slide that I want to present on is a media project. So Spring Hill had contacted us a few weeks back about some efforts that the students were excited to do. They really kind of just had the ball in their court about anything that they thought was a need at their school, and this was what they came up with, that drug prevention was a huge need at their district. So we have spoken with them, kind of picked their brain on what they are wanting to do. And they've said that vaping is, obviously kind of in the news, we know this, but that's an issue at the junior high campus. So they're trying to roll out a media campaign, and they're still kind of in the works on that, but we're excited to see where that goes and to be able to partner with them to help them further do those efforts with the junior high campus. So yay, our junior high kiddos. We're very excited to see students stepping up and wanting to be part of drug prevention. So that is all that is really in the works right now for us.
Thanks, Whitney.
At the meeting last month.
Yes,
Right.
two of those students that are on the drug campaign, they are the ones that attended the meeting. So I didn't know if anybody had any questions or anything about what we presented on, or if we're going to go to the next program.
I think we could probably go.
So next is the Aspire mentoring program.
Yes, and so this is Lyndell McAllister, and I want to do my mask for a minute while I talk about this. We've had a very active October with our golf tournament occurring in October, and you'll notice most of the pictures here are of our golfers. It was a really great experience. We had it for the very first time at Tempest Golf Club, and even with it did rain, most of our golfers played 7 to 9 holes before the rain just came roaring in, and we were able to have a really positive experience. The golf club gave everybody a free game of golf for coming out that day, since they did not get to finish their game. So that was a popular incentive for next year's. All of the comments about the tournament being at Tempest Golf Club this year were very positive, but the proof is in the pudding, and that is that the year before, so we've had it 9 years at Wood Hollow Golf Course, and they were also very nice to work with. But last year we had 56 players. This year we had 77 players, so we went from 14 to 19 and a half teams this year. We also made a little under $10,000. Last year, we were at around 13.8 this year. So that was a good increase. And we are excited about having that golf tournament again next year. I think also we provided a kind of a more diverse, we had 2 female teams that played. We have a diverse group of players, and it was just a great experience for all of us. Our Mentoring Advisory Council and all of our staff worked hard to make that event come off well, even with rain. And Chick-fil-A, if you know Chuck King and Katie, his daughter, we just want to say a big shout out and thank you to them, because they even moved up the cooking of the 100 lunches for our golfers, so that we were able to pick them up a little bit earlier, probably an hour earlier than we had anticipated. And we just appreciated everybody being willing to shift when the rain came in. Also, we are preparing. So this is the raffle prizes from the golf tournament. We each of our Mentoring Advisory Council members donated prizes, and that was always very successful and popular opportunity. This is you pay your money and you choose a cork. You see the little golf balls on the green thing, so you don't know which gift you're getting, and you choose the number, and then that's the gift that you receive. And so that was really fun. We also had gift certificates to give to the winners of the golf tournament. And since we did not have winners, we did a door prize. We just drew everyone's name out of a hat and passed out those gift certificates. So the golfers left happy and I think anxious to play the tournament again next year. We're going to do the same date. It'll be October 22nd in 2021, and we're very excited about that, having it back at Tempest Golf Club again this year. It did cost us a little more to have it there, $12 more per player, but it was well worth all the publicity, the much easier to get golfers to play, all of those kinds of things. So we hope to continue to grow that tournament. And next, we've got National Mentoring Month coming up. And there's a new mentor orientation this November the 17th, but I think that's actually a Tuesday. Is that a Tuesday? I'm not sure. Can somebody look real fast? I'm thinking it's a Tuesday. So instead of that saying Thursday, if you'll just make a note that it's Tuesday, November the 17th, we still have room to add more people to attend that evening training. We'll have another one in December, but we are really needing to recruit new mentors. So if you'll go to our Aspire Mentoring Program Facebook page and help share out the information about new mentor orientation and the need for mentors. Kendra has put up a couple of different posts on our social media for our Facebook page, and all you need to do is, if you'll just go in and share that, that would be really helpful to us in recruiting new mentors. Our numbers are lower currently. We expected that with COVID. We're at about 130 active matches. We're usually around 150 this time of year. We are excited about growing those numbers and still have a great need we still are getting calls for parents wanting kids in the program, particularly for boys and men. So we really need more men to mentor with our program. We're gearing up for National Mentoring Month in January. And so I think we're going to have a car parade this year. We usually have an in-person celebration at the City Council chambers, and that will not be possible this year. So we're wanting to do something new and different to raise awareness about National Mentoring Month, both to celebrate the mentors that are currently in the program and also to raise awareness of the need for mentors. We will be asking our mentors to send us pictures and to answer questions about how they're spending their time with mentees, and you'll be seeing those pictures posted and information about those over the next, in December and January, we're going to run those. So if you'll share those out as you watch them come across your Facebook page, and if you're not a member, if you haven't liked on the Aspire Mentoring Program page, please do. Hopefully you'll also see those on the Partners in Prevention page as well. One other thing I want to mention, because several of you might be able to help us with this, we are getting ready to conduct a community strengths and needs assessment, and we'll be sending those out to youth serving organizations and to youth in the community. So Chesley, we might particularly be calling on you to help with your contacts around that.
Sure.
And that's also coming up. We just had our first Zoom new mentor training, and really that went exceptionally well. We were able to record it, and Patty was able to make us a YouTube link for that, and we sent it out to the mentors that were not able to attend the actual Zoom meeting. So we're adjusting to the transition to Zoom. We're also holding all of our mentoring groups by Zoom. So the mentoring program is still active and running. We're making matches at parks where people meet up with masks and are matched with new mentees and meet their parents at community parks. So that's still happening, even though, because we also know that kids right now really need that time and attention. So there's just lots going on and lots to prepare for. If any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Lyndell. When you mentioned the strengths and needs assessment, I had already kind of started to identify who at Community Health Corps I could share that with. So definitely let me know when that's ready to go out.
Perfect. We will.
Thank you.
Will.
Thanks.
Thanks, Leslie.
Thanks. Okay, Unity and Diversity Committee.
Good afternoon. This is Taylor. So I want to kind of touch on a couple of events that I mentioned that we were having at our last meeting. So for September, we had our Hispanic Heritage Month UDC meeting, and this was really great. We had a PAR officer, we had a UDC member, and then we also had a guest that came in. And if you'd like to access any of our UDC meetings at any time, you can definitely send me an email. And all of our meetings have been recorded, so I can send that to anyone who may want that. So that was a really good meeting for us to have. Our UDC members chose that we would speak about Hispanic Heritage Month, so that was really good to see that vision come alive. And then we also celebrated on our social media page on Facebook, we celebrated HBCUs, also known as Historically Black Colleges and Universities. And something that we did on social media is we highlighted the local HBCUs, which is Wiley College, Texas College, and Jarvis Christian College. Then we had our October meeting, and this meeting we had a guest. Sorry, I'm going ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Can you go back for me? Okay, we also celebrated and brought awareness to suicide prevention awareness. So we wore purple and blue, and then we just publicized that. As we know, suicide does not have any race, ethnicity. Suicide can affect any and everyone, so we decided to show our support in honor of suicide prevention awareness. And then we also had a great meeting. I was so excited to get to this. I went a little ahead of myself. So Rory from South Africa, he's the former bodyguard to President Nelson Mandela. He spoke to our Unity and Diversity Committee, and I wish we could have had a couple of more hours of time with him, but this meeting was really wonderful. And if you'd like to access this meeting, you can visit longviewtexas.gov/unity, and you can have access to this UDC meeting for October. And our Unity Honors nominations, the deadline for that was November the 6th, 2020, and we have a new record of nominations. We had 14 people submit nominations, and all of these nominations were electronic. So this was one of the safest ways that we could have nominations being sent in, and we've decided that the new date for the 17th Annual Unity Honors Luncheon will be June 23rd, 2021, and that will be at 11:30 at Mod Cobb, if you want to mark your calendars for that. Then we also had our Global Diversity Awareness Month events, just getting creative with different ways that we can reach out and really bring awareness to diversity for the month of October. So those are just a recap of some of the events that we did. And we also got a chance to celebrate National Disability Employment Month. So what we did is we highlighted some celebrities on our social media pages that have disabilities, and we just kind of spoke about that and their employment status. We also got a chance to celebrate on social media Indigenous Peoples Day. And so that's just the day that celebrates and honors Native Americans, their people and their culture and their history. And then in November, we got a chance to hear from our PAR officers. They had a really great panel discussion about community policing and diversity in the city of Longview. So this was really insightful. And as I stated before, if you would like any of our meetings, I can definitely send those recordings to you. For our upcoming events, we do have our December UDC meeting and our January UDC meeting. If you'd like to join us, the meeting ID is here. We always have our meetings every first Monday of the month at noon. So our December meeting is going to be very interactive. We're going to have some breakout sessions as we wrap up the year and kind of have some in-depth conversations. And then for January, we'll be discussing everything that happened over the year, some things that we can implement in the community, and just really have a great time. So you're welcome to join us at any one of those meetings. And I would also like to applaud our Unity and Diversity Committee members, because they have been engaged, they have been committed, they have been very active during this virtual time. They have been inviting other people to join our meetings. So our virtual total attendance has been an average of about 25 attendees per meeting. And then one meeting, we actually had 30 attendees, and this is all virtual. So they're showing that they're committed and they're engaged. And before we went virtual, our attendance average was 21 attendees. So we actually went up, and we are so excited to have a great committee. And then we also, for wrapping up the year, we've had over 30 first-time attendees who've attended our UDC meeting. So we are making some great progress. I would also like to encourage you and remind you to like our Facebook page. As of right now, our likes and our followers are continuing to grow. We have over 1,100 likes and over 1,200 followers. And then a couple of upcoming dates that I want you to put on your calendars is International Human Rights Day, and that's on December the 10th. You can celebrate that however you choose. And then also International Day for People with Disability, and that's on December the 3rd. And that's all we have for today. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Taylor. Holly.
Okay, well, you can see and hear the great things that the staff at Partners in Prevention is continuing to do even during these trying times. And as Taylor mentioned, it's been really encouraging to see our attendance continue and even grow some during our Unity and Diversity Committee meetings, even though those are taking place via Zoom. So I think that just shows that there's an interest in our community to bring true unity and diversity, and people are engaging in that. The golf tournament, as Lyndell mentioned, was a huge success. The things that Whitney is doing through Coalition for Drug-Free Youth, those continue to grow, and new people coming in, youth taking their own initiative to make drugs and alcohol and vaping an awareness on their campuses. So those are all great efforts from within Partners in Prevention and just in the community. Our Longview Bridges Out of Poverty, we have been on a little bit of a hiatus with that program just because we have not been able to implement our social distancing as strongly as we wanted to. So, but Lyndell's staying in touch with our members. We've had a success story from there that one of our ladies has been helping with the census. She's probably completed that, I'm sure, by now, but just, finding some ways to try to generate their own income and be less reliant on the community public assistance and things like that. And that's one of the goals of our Bridges Out of Poverty and our Getting Ahead class. But, there's still a great need. So we're continue to encourage people, those especially that may be feeling a little isolated or not able to get out as much and still having those struggles. So that all of our programs are looking a little bit different right now, just simply because of COVID, but we are continuing to pursue and help people where we can. I also wanted to mention, we'll piggyback on what Lyndell had talked about, the strengths and needs assessment. I had an opportunity yesterday to visit with Clint quite a bit just about this committee, and we talked a lot about the community strengths and needs assessment. We will be conducting that, as Lyndell said. One of the challenges that we've had is, and I was sharing this with Clint, is oftentimes when you put an assessment out, it doesn't go very deep into the community. So we're trying to really make an effort to have a variety of people who are engaged in taking that, so we can really see what the assessment what the need is. And so, people from neighborhoods, communities, organizations, businesses, media, students, education field, faith community, all of those, we're going to be looking for input. So any way that you can help us with that, we will have it available so that it can be online. We know not everyone has access to internet, so we will have paper copies as well. So if you can help us with some ideas or willing to share that out, we would greatly appreciate it. So once we have that link, I will email that to each of you. And if you need paper copies, just let us know. We're looking at even going in and maybe directly doing some surveys with youth in our community, some focus group things to really get a rich assessment of what's needed. It's been a couple of years, maybe 3 years now, that I know of that a community needs assessment was done in our area. We were kind of prompted through another opportunity that we were seeking out to do this. That didn't quite work out, but we still need, we know that there's a need for this assessment. We're going to be very willing to share that with anyone as well. So once we get the final report for that, we're happy to share that. One of the things, if you've been in the nonprofit world or business world and you've heard of community needs assessments, it usually is just called that, a community needs assessment. I like this, that we're going to also be looking at community strengths, because I do think that Longview has a lot of strengths in Gregg County, and those are not usually recognized as readily in any kind of community report. It's usually recognized as the gaps and the needs that we have. So going to be looking at also the strengths that are already here and maybe how we can continue to build on those. If you have any ideas, I'm happy to hear those of how we might distribute these surveys. I know I'm kind of putting people on the spot right now, but if something has popped into your mind, if you'll go ahead and share that so we can make sure that we get it out.
It will be in electronic format, Holly?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
And-
if there's a link that I can send that out to the people within Community Health Corps.
Okay, wonderful. And I don't know, Chesley, if that would be possible, but maybe even some of the participants through Community Health Corps programs, or people seeking services, we would love to hear from them as well.
Oh, yeah. We can send that out.
Great. Okay, just a really short funding update. We did receive our approval for our Justice Assistance Grant for the year 20. You can see the amount that we were allocated. For those of you who have been on the steering committee may remember, and if you're new, I'll let you know that that is not an amount that we request. That's a federal government award that we received through the Bureau of Justice. And so that's a predetermined allocation. That's why it's kind of a strange dollar amount. But we are using that to help continue supporting our mentoring program and the Coalition for Drug-Free Youth. You may remember too, if you've been on the steering committee for a while, or you may have heard us refer to the Mentoring Plus initiative that we had through a partnership that we had with Youth Collaboratory. We were one of 10 sites nationally that were sub-awardees through Youth Collaboratory for a mentoring program. And they pre-applied for that funding, and they have been awarded, but unfortunately it was at quite a reduced rate. So we are, hopefully still in the mix for getting those some of those funds again. We're waiting for them to complete their negotiations, and then we'll be letting you know about that. We did perform very well. In fact, so well that they asked us to do some additional matches at the end once we had already completed our obligation and our goal. So we feel like we're pretty strong candidates for receiving those funds and being in partnership with them again. As already been mentioned, but I like to mention every time for those of you who are on social media, please share, like all of our information that's coming across right now, because we're very limited in how we're able to do any kind of presentations or anything. We're relying heavily on social media. to let people know about the programs and upcoming events that we're doing. Lyndell and I had the opportunity through our Bridges Out of Poverty there's 2 annual presentations that we usually do with the University of Texas campus here in Longview for their nursing program, and through Christus Good Shepherd for their internal medicine residents to do a poverty training. So they wanted us to do that. We had it scheduled, of course, during the spring and summer, and that had to be postponed, but they were willing for us to do those presentations via Zoom. So we did do that for them again this year, just in a different format. But we are, even though we're not able to always be in person, if you know of anyone who would like a presentation or information about any of our specific programs, then we are very willing to do that via Zoom or whatever platform they choose. So that's all I have for today. This is our last meeting for 2020. So our next meeting will be in January, on January the 13th. And I'm happy to entertain any questions or comments.
Well, it sounds like y'all are doing a lot of good work, Holly, you and your team.
Yeah, that team really been working hard.
Great.
COVID certainly has not presented anything but challenges in 2020. Hopefully we'll move beyond that if a vaccine can be developed and we can get back to something that looks a little more normal. But thank you all for what you've been doing.
Thank you, Carol.
Agree.
Yes,
Any other comments or questions for the staff? Okay, we have now reached the citizen comment portion of our agenda. Scott Shellhorse with the city's media department is coordinating the technical side of the meeting and will assist with moderating the citizen comment portion of our meeting. Scott, do we have any residents who want to speak today?
No, we do not have anybody online wanting to speak today.
Okay. Well, if there are no citizen comments, then I have 12:39 and our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.